thinning, not due to alopecia, but as a side effect of my underactive thyroid condition. Despite what I've been informed, it doesn't fall under the usual category of medical hair loss. This distinction matters. Wigs are part of my everyday attire. It's rare for me to step outside or even linger around my house without one. My colleague, Jay, who is on the autism spectrum and deals with anxiety along with several sensory issues, has come to know about my use of wigs. Our workplace is supportive of making necessary accommodations for such conditions, a stance I wholeheartedly support, given my children are also neurodivergent and I wish for their future employers to be equally accommodating. Jay's discovery of my wigs has unfortunately caused him significant discomfort, leading to distraction and anxiety to the extent that my presence seems to disrupt his focus. He finds himself fixated on my headgear, struggling to divert his attention elsewhere. He's suggested, perhaps out of desperation to find some relief, that I remove my wig to see if that could possibly alleviate his distress. However, he's unsure if this action would indeed return things to normal, or if his challenges around my wig-wearing presence would persist. I responded to him saying I'd consider it, though deep down, I felt resistant to the idea. Since our conversation last week, I haven't encountered Jay, but he has taken further steps on the issue. I've been informed that because my wig is worn for what's perceived as aesthetic rather than health-related reasons, I must remove it to adhere to the adjustments made for Jay. I proposed a compromise, willing to take off my wig once in private for Jay's sake, but I expressed my discomfort with the idea of permanently foregoing my wig in his presence. After a day's deliberation, I received feedback this morning. It was implied that my reluctance is seen as vanity, and I was urged to prioritize Jay's significant needs over my own by possibly foregoing my wig at work. Now, I'm at a crossroads, unsure if I should reach out to Jay directly about this sensitive issue or continue to navigate the situation through my supervisor and HR. What are my next steps? Many wonder how Jay discovered I use wigs. I'm quite open about it. Jay overheard a conversation about my wigs between a colleague and me. Further details to consider. Firstly, I have a reputation for being resilient and formidable. Being the sole woman in my department and among adjacent teams, my colleagues likely assume my hair loss doesn't deeply affect me, thinking perhaps I wear wigs for enjoyment rather than necessity. Secondly, my commitment to autism advocacy is well known, especially given my son's diagnosis. I've previously championed for accommodations for another coworker with autism concerning mask wearing. Given my known resilience and advocacy for autism, it's probable my colleagues expected me to readily comply with anything that would alleviate Jay's discomfort. Update: I've encountered a new development at work, which I had shared in an earlier post today on another forum. At the start of this week, I had a preliminary chat with Emily from HR regarding a complaint my coworker had made about me. She inquired about the situation, which is a normal process here. This morning, my discussion was with Tim from HR, who is officially managing this matter. I've just gotten a message from Emily suggesting an off-the-record conversation about the issue. I'm pondering the purpose behind this offer. Is this approach for her benefit or mine? Should I even entertain this conversation? Update: Firstly, I'm grateful for all the advice received. It's been incredibly helpful. Secondly, Emily's role in HR is temporary, filling in for Alicia, who's on maternity leave. Thirdly, I decided to accept Emily's call, opting to listen more than speak. Emily advised me that when responding to Tim's email, I should CC Alicia, who, despite being on leave, is monitoring her emails. I thanked her, and we concluded our call. Significantly, Alicia, who is a Black woman and also wears wigs, will now be indirectly involved. Given the central issue of wigs, Alicia's perspective could offer a unique insight. The final development involves additional HR members stepping in, leading to the resolution that I won't have to remove my wig. Following Alicia's involvement in the matter, things escalated rapidly. A meeting was arranged with Alicia, Tim, a senior HR member, and a representative from legal. The intervention of the appropriate personnel meant the situation was promptly and seriously addressed. I received multiple assurances through video calls, texts, and emails, affirming that I wouldn't be compelled to remove my wig. Jay and I have been instructed to cease any discussion about this issue and report any attempts by the other to initiate such conversation. The matter is now resolved. I'm deeply grateful for all the advice, comments, and support from this community. Thank you. My 5-year-old gets taken out of class every day, but not sure why. Recently, my son shared with me that nearly every day, a staff member escorts him from his classroom to another room filled with various activities such as games, sensory equipment like balls and scooters. They engage in activities ranging from playing Uno to physical exercises like jumping and riding scooters down the hallway. I'm quite taken aback that his teacher hasn't mentioned any of this to me, neither through emails nor during parent-teacher meetings. I'm curious if anyone has insight into why this might be happening. It makes me question if I'm missing something in his home care that necessitates these special sessions. It seems that it's just my son and 2 other boys who are selected for these activities. He hasn't been identified as needing special education or diagnosed with any conditions. I plan to discuss this with his teacher, but I'm reaching out to see if anyone else has experienced something similar in their schools. Growing up, I don't recall anything like this being part of my elementary school experience, which adds to my confusion. Update: I apologize for not knowing how to link to my post from yesterday, which I'm referencing here. After reaching out to his teacher due to the numerous inquiries for an update, I learned that the activities my son participates in are not occupational therapy as some had suggested. I was informed that such therapy would require my consent. The school, it turns out, has implemented universal supports accessible to all students. Specifically for my son, this includes using a rocking chair during circle time and taking sensory breaks facilitated by a paraprofessional. Contrary to my initial understanding, he doesn't attend these sessions daily, but about 3 to 4 times a week, depending on the availability of the additional paraprofessional support. The teacher explained that the sessions aren't guaranteed to happen every day, which is why there wasn't formal communication about it. These supports are part of the school's strategy to assist students as needed, rather than formalized plans like an IEP. Importantly, these breaks are scheduled during non-critical times, such as snack or rest periods, to ensure no disruption to essential learning. I'm truly appreciative of his teacher's efforts. She shared that my son is a humorous child who often brings laughter to the classroom. His abundant energy, she observed, seems to be effectively managed through these reset periods, allowing him to benefit significantly. She didn't suggest any concerns about ADHD or indicate that his energy was disruptive to the classroom environment. Am I the a-hole for walking out on my boyfriend when he's grieving? I'm a 35-year-old woman, and my boyfriend, who's 36, recently had to say goodbye to his family's beloved dog. Understandably, he's heartbroken. The day after it happened, I visited him, and we spent the evening quietly at home, sharing a few drinks. The following morning, I woke up before him. When he finally got up, he headed straight for the kitchen to do the dishes. I left the living room to join him and noticed he seemed upset. I asked if everything was okay, and he sharply responded no. Curious and concerned, I inquired about what was bothering him, to which he yelled, "What do you think? My dog just died. Just leave me alone." Taking his words to heart, I quickly got dressed to leave. As I was about to walk out, he questioned where I was headed. I explained I was going home, especially since his response to my concern was harsh. He dismissively told me to leave, insulting me in the process. Afterwards, I reached out to him through a message, trying to explain that his expression seemed more of annoyance than sadness, which prompted my question. He replied with a simple, "Okay," without offering an apology. I've talked it over with a couple of friends, who agreed that his reaction was uncalled for and that they would have done the same by leaving. However, his response has left me wondering if he feels abandoned during his time of grief. Mini update: yes, but not the strong language and insults. Your ex seems quite like him, to be honest. We agreed to have a conversation today. I'm uncertain how it will turn out. I want to express my viewpoint without dismissing his emotions. I understand he might find my question about what's wrong to be trivial, but I hope he realizes his reaction was excessive. Update: in case anyone was interested, he refused to apologize and said I goaded him because I knew why he was pissed off, because I didn't stay in bed to give him a cuddle and I didn't sexually satisfy him the night before. He can't keep hard when he's drank too much, and that's my fault. We've spelled up. I'm on Hinge. Thank you to everyone for helping me see him for what he is.